and welcome to this year's edition of the Lesotho Exporters Annual Award Ceremony. This is the second consecutive annual Exporters Awards, and as LNDC, we are proud to see this edition of awards come to fruition. Occasions like this are important to visibility of our institutional success stories and provide an opportunity to show the stakeholders the positive strides made in trade promotion. Today's event is all about competition and healthy competition, I must emphasize. The credibility of this initiative rests on the fair and transparent adjudication process applied in the selection of today's winners. Following a post-mortem by the organizers of this award ceremony and feedback from the previous event participants, LNDC and the partners, namely the Lesotho Post Bank and the USAID Trade and Investment Hub, including the adjudication committee, decided to visit the evaluation criteria to ensure appropriateness of its application to all targeted participants. To this end, the evaluation criteria has been redesigned to ensure fair competition between the smallholders and their well-established and larger counterparts. This is a clear indication of the corporation's intention to commit to continuous improvement of all its products and services and demonstration of our commitment to its corporate values, in particular, transparency and accountability. The variables of focus considered in the evaluations this year include innovation and versatility, consistency and sustainability of exports, diversity of products and or markets, best emerging exporter, as well as a high impact exporter. These areas were selected on the premise that they do not require an exporter to be at a certain level of development to perform well, but could still be good enough to encourage other small companies to strive for export excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, the Exporters Award competition is meant to create and stimulate a spirit of competitiveness among the local exporters. It is a tool meant to recognize and honor the outstanding export performance into the South African and United States markets. Furthermore, it is a behavioral incentive meant to entice local exporters to adopt and or change their business approaches to enhance capacity to compete in export markets. The participating exporters are forced to assess themselves for export readiness and in turn adopt tools to improve their business performance to get the relevant recognition and secure markets for their export products. This national competition is only a stepping stone into a regional competition that is held with the other 7 countries, including countries plus Malawi, Mozambique, and Zambia, supported by the USAID Trade and Investment Hub. The regional event does not recognize the exporters only, but also trade promotion service providers, the capital providers, as well as the buyers of the year. This is an all-inclusive event meant to encourage all export players to take part in this noble initiative with a view to stimulate and improve performance and service delivery. As such, we encourage all qualifying stakeholders to take part in this initiative. Let me take this opportunity to recognize all LNDC partners in this initiative. LNDC has collaborated with the Lesotho Post Bank and has been supported by the USAID Trade and Investment Hub to drive the initiative. It to secure more partners who participate in the export promotion space to improve and sustain the initiative. Further recognition is given to other national key stakeholders who supported the initiative by providing their expert officials to form part of the adjudication panel. I thank you and wish to see more deepened collaboration in future events and other similar initiatives. Distinguished participants, it is in order that I recognize and give a round of applause to 2021 overall winner, Liberation Clothing, who went on to participate at the regional event through support of the LNDC. I would also like to appreciate and recognize all the other participants from the previous year and this year's events. This is your event, and its success and sustainability lies with you. LNDC and partners only create a platform for your performance, a playground for you to bring all your tools to dribble in this crucial export game. I must also reiterate that all locally registered exporters who commit to national business obligations, like the tax obligations, are eligible to participate. Allow me to highlight some of the export promotion tools that may assist the local exporters to improve their global export competitiveness. 1, understanding target export market requirements. 2, conforming to buyer standards and specifications. 3, securing industry and system certifications. 4, listing export products in relevant e-commerce platforms. 5, participating in relevant trade promotion events. 6, creating business networks and connections. 7, acquiring deal negotiation skills. And 8, developing the best marketing and export plans. The list goes on, and there is no limit on how companies can develop themselves and build their export capacity. It is important also for local exporters to make themselves known and occupy spaces to better access various export development and promotion tools provided by the different national institutions. In particular, the LNDC Exporters Development Program and the Local Supplier Development Program provided in collaboration with other national partners. Let me once more thank all the partners, the evaluation team, the Lesotho Post Bank, the USAID Trade and Investment Hub for export guidance, and the LNDC officials organized and facilitated this event. I wish to reaffirm LNDC's commitment to sustaining this initiative as part of its export promotion strategy. It is intended to be a biannual or an annual event depending on how fast local exporters respond to global export competitiveness requirements. Lesotho holds a great potential for growth in the trade and investment space. Let us all take charge and identify quick wins in development of this nation as we work towards sustainable growth of the economy. Have a great event and congratulations in advance to all winners. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mema Mwilwa. She has made an invitation. She also highlights that the intention is to have these awards on an annual basis or biannual basis, and that this competition is only a stepping stone for participation in the regional awards. So the winner today will be representing Lesotho in the regional awards next month in July. Allow me to continue and welcome Kisha Toms, who currently serves as the U.S. Embassy Deputy Chief of Mission in Maseru. She joined the U.S. Department of State in 2008 and has served in a number of missions, including Pakistan, Kuwait, Algeria, Washington, and Qatar. Kisha.
Good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, Ambassador Brewer had to travel to the United States, so you're stuck with me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And by paying my respects to His Majesty, King Letsie III, the Right Honorable, the Prime Minister, the Principal Secretary of Trade and Industry, Dr. Tlhopeo Sefadi, Chief Executive Officer of the Lesotho National Development Corporation, Mr. Modise Ramaidi, Chief Executive Officer, Lesotho Post Bank, Mr. Molefi Lekwawe, Senior Government and USAID Southern Africa Trade and Investment Hub officials, representatives of the Lesotho private sector, members of the media, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is my sincere pleasure to join Principal Secretary, Dr. Sefadi, and our joint co-hosts, the Lesotho National Development Corporation and Lesotho Bank, for the 2022 Lesotho Annual Exporter Awards. Lesotho's 5-year National Strategic Development Plan remains the driving force of the collaboration between the US government and Lesotho to boost exports of products proudly made in the kingdom. And today's event provides not only an opportunity to celebrate our longstanding partnership to promote trade and development, but also to celebrate the excellence, innovation, and success of Lesotho export firms in reaching the South African and the US market. I would also like to acknowledge one of our co-hosts, Lesotho Post Bank, on being named a runner-up in the 2021 Regional Exporter Awards held in East London, South Africa, under the category of Financial Service Provider of the Year. As a financial service provider owned by the Lesotho government, Lesotho Post Bank's efforts to provide banking services to unbanked or underbanked citizens of Lesotho in rural and urban areas certainly brings a great perspective to this year's events. Congratulations. The Exporter Awards recognize the outstanding trade performance and innovation of Lesotho firms in reaching the South African and the US markets, especially under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as AGOA. The awards are demonstration of the support of the US government for Lesotho's export-led economic growth model. The US government shares a common vision with all our partners in promoting private sector-led economic growth. Our new economic growth policy advances the commitment of the US government to promote inclusive, sustained, and resilient economic growth in developing countries. We supported the development of the AGOA utilization strategy for Lesotho, which was launched in January 2020, to increase exports from Lesotho to the United States under AGOA by at least 5% per year for the next 5 years. Today, we're seeing some fantastic results from the companies represented here. Despite the turbulence caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, Lesotho's exports to the South African market were valued at $267 million last year, while exports to the United States from Lesotho were valued at $310 million in 2021. Lesotho is ranked number 2 in terms of value of goods exported and number 3 in terms of volume of goods exported under AGOA. While there is, yeah, absolutely, it's tremendous. Certainly, while there is still much room for growth, this amount of trade is a great achievement. In the past year, the US government, through USAID, linked 5 suppliers of products, such as garments, wool, and mohair, to US buyers. Another huge achievement was the successful listing of a horse nutritional supplement, Elite Equine, on Amazon, the first such product from Lesotho to be marketed by the e-commerce giant. While today's event recognizes those who have contributed to these impressive numbers of exports to the South African and American markets, there is great potential and capacity to improve and diversify upon these export products further. It is also important that Lesotho continue to improve the protection of internationally worker rights and its work in combating gender-based violence in the workplace to promote and maintain AGOA trade eligibility. I therefore encourage Lesotho to continue to diversify its economy, advance protections for workers, and connect with capital for investment, implementing the AGOA utilization strategy of 2020 to create more jobs for Lesotho through this important export opportunity. We are here to be partners in this opportunity to strengthen economies and to continue collaboration with the private sector. A great example of that is soon American consumers will be able to shop on Amazon for signature handbag pieces from Lesotho supplier Jalad Africa. This, I hope, is just the start of many great successes of our enhanced trade collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the export companies present here, in particular, those nominated for awards under the various categories. I wish them all the best. Thank you. Khotso Pula Na.
Thank you very much, Kisha. And also for confirming really that the US government has a shared vision with Lesotho for sustainable economic development in Lesotho. Thank you. We are advised that Dr. Sefadi has had to attend to an urgent official matter and will be given an opportunity to join us later. I've just received that note. Is that so? Okay. Thank you. I was seeing that today in a mask and I thought it was Dr. Sefadi, so I almost called you up to come and deliver Dr. Sefadi's remarks. But as we continue, I thought about Lesotho Exporters Awards. It's not a meeting, it's a celebration of excellence, innovation, effort. So I thought about what I could wear from my wardrobe. A very unlikely piece, denim, to an event of that nature, a denim top. So if you've been wondering, couldn't she get a blanket or something a bit more fancy for an event of this nature? When I was young, I think it's still there. There used to be this chewing gum that you open and then you find a message inside. I think it's a Chappie's brand. It says, "Did you know?" We all know about it. So, did you know that the Kingdom of Lesotho's garment industry produces approximately 26 million pairs of jeans annually with denim fabric with denim fabric that is manufactured in Lesotho? I had to choose denim. I will not talk about the Sishweshwe fabric today. I'll keep it for the next Exporters Awards. Just to let you know that jeans, those jeans constitute a high percentage of apparel garments and garments to the United States and to the South African market out of. So let's wear that denim. Let's wear some of those products that we're able to access. At this point in time, since Dr. Sefadi is not here, we will continue with our program. Maybe I should have said this earlier, that I will be directing the program this morning, but not by myself. I have two other pilots, not co-pilots, pilots that will be working with me, and they will introduce themselves as they come up. One is from the Lesotho National Development Corporation, and another one is from Lesotho Post Bank, really representing the collaboration that is taking place in this room this morning. As you can see, the partnership, Lesotho Post Bank and LNDC, and the support from the USAID Trade Hub. Allow me to continue with our program and request our band to give us some one or two songs, because we are here also to celebrate.
Those guys, yeah, fantastic.
There are some car keys that have been found in the gents' bathroom that have been handed over to security by the door. So if anyone forgot their car keys in the gents' bathroom, please get in touch with the security by the door. I'm now going to introduce the next program director who's going to take over from me from here. She is Mayor Bokam Mareka, who is the head of retail at the Lesotho Post Bank. She's skilled at strategic planning and development, finance, accounting, banking, governance, business administration, and leadership. And she has over 20 years of experience working in different companies such as Coca-Cola, South Africa Breweries, Group 5, Philips Lesotho, and is an International Labour Organization ILO certified coach. Mebokang, please come and take us on.
Thank you, Ms. Marina. Indeed, I am Bokam Mareka Machumza from Lesotho Post Bank, head of retail it is. Taking from what Ms. Marina said earlier on about her dressing, I must also acknowledge that I look this pretty because of a very young lady in our nation who dressed me up. Amen. Yay. Well, I'm amazed at this particular moment to experience a tripartite alliance where we have NDC building the industry, Lesotho Post Bank, affordable, accessible, everywhere, amen. And then we have the platform set for us by USA Trade and Investment Hub, where they provide a platform for us to promote trade in a sustainable manner. So this is one of its kind. And we can say hashtag Lesotho Annual Exporter Awards. My task is very easy right now as one of your program directors. It is just to introduce your presenters or your speakers, and we are going to go on with the session. Ntate Tshepang Hatasi. We take it Bugani. He is the Lesotho Nation Brand Manager at LNDC. He's actually responsible for the development of Lesotho Nation brand. Interesting enough is for me to learn that he is tasked with the branding and marketing the Mountain Kingdom as an investment destination of choice within the region. So ladies and gentlemen, without taking any much of his time, I'm going to ask that we welcome Ndade Tshepang Hatasi to the podium to take us on.
Thank you, NEP Program Director. I think I need to repeat to say I am Mr. Tshepang Hatase from the LNDC. I will apologize for not putting the mask on. I've stolen that from the first program director. So should the Minister of Health launch a formal complaint, she'll be the first respondent. Let me begin to say why we are here today as LNDC, and specifically making a presentation on Lesotho Nation brand. I was called upon to address our exporters who are participating in the, even those who are not participating in the awards today, to say what the nation brand is, and I mean, how does it come into play in the exporters' play field? That's what I'm going to attempt to do today. I'm using the word attempt on purpose because nation brand cannot be understood in 1 second. So my presentation is going to be very small, but it's actually meant to tickle something in our minds about nation brand and how we are going to use it for Lesotho to communicate whatever would be wanting to communicate in the global space. So this is where we are starting. When preparing for this presentation, I took a bit of a task to go around to ask people that were nearby to say what they think the nation brand is. And I got very, very interesting responses. Like a nation brand, I think it is a very nice logo that would be depicting our topography or communicating our cleanliness of our water, of the air, with those nice taglines. I mean, the taglines that truly that we are used to, like Mountain Kingdom, Kingdom in the Sky, the kingdom nearest to heaven. I think the responses were interesting, not because, okay, they were responses I was expecting. I would call them maybe necessary conditions for the definition, but not really sufficient. Because I thought that now that should make me think how do I define nation brand to Lesotho? Because this is quite a new concept to us. We've only started the journey of nation brand. No, it actually started in 2016, but the implementation of the nation brand is like 6 months old. So we haven't really communicated it to the nation as a whole. I must admit it has been a closed agenda item within the Ministry of Trade and the LNDC. This is actually the first time that we'll be saying anything about Lesotho Nation brand out publicly. So I thought it is the beginning of the presentation should be to clarify from that mini sample that I conducted. It gave me an idea of what nation brand would be meaning to the person who are new to the concept. So I thought it would be best if we start the presentation or the introduction of the nation brand to say exactly what is not nation brand. So this is our first slide on that. I tried to summarize all those responses. Like I've indicated, people were expecting the taglines, the symbolic logos, those logos, the way we put them on advertisements board. So I thought that is exactly what nation brand is not, though it is part of that. Now I will begin by saying, okay, what do practitioners or the experts in this new field, which is nation, city, place branding? It is actually on the ground. It's a very old concept, actually. I think most of us in here will know that. I'll make an example of what? Maybe City of New York. It has always placed itself as the Big Apple. So it's an old concept. If we could try to look into, I think it came in the 1950s or 60s. But the definition and to try to put it into applicable and definable space, it's quite a new initiative. So I will start with what do the practitioners or experts say about place, nation, or city branding. Simon Anholt, who's practically the father of place branding. He says it is a national identity made tangible in a robust way, communicable and useful. That's short. Another practitioner says nation brand is concerned with the whole image on the international or global target markets, political, economic, and social dynamics. Third one, the most interesting. Consumers and investors continue to rely heavily on country image in making economic decisions. I think that's a very strong statement because it goes further to say, if you do not have one, if you don't have one, or you have a bad reputation or perception about your brand as a nation, you cannot compete in the investment and in the investment and trade markets. So lack of nation branding or lack of it, or I mean, doing a bit of it is quite detrimental in trying to market the country for investments and trade. So this shows that the experts, people who have studied over time the importance of nation brand, this is what they have to say about nation brand. Why nation? Now we are trying to contextualize this into Lesotho. We have identified 5 objectives for our nation branding. We want to attract investment and stimulate growth in trade. That is the first one. We want to enhance our reputation. Our reputation relating to the goods and services that we produce and trade within ourselves and to export. In that enhancement, we'll be having a reputation, whether it's positive or negative. We need to manage it on a daily basis. On the positive side, we try to maintain that positive side by identifying what puts us on this positivity quadrant, and we need to continue doing that. From the negative quadrant, we also need to identify to say, okay, what lands us here? What do we need to change? And we target those elements that would have identified and to work on them to try to turn those negatives into positives. We need to increase our inbound tourism. We know that tourism receipts play a very critical role in our GDP. So our focus as Lesotho, our focus as Lesotho Nation brand is also heavily on tourism. We need to play in the political influence space. On this one, I think I need to clarify. We are not going to play in the partisan politics space. What we mean here is we know we have regional integrations like EU, the SACU, SADC, and I think most of you will agree with me that those regional integrations, they have a lot of forums, meetings every year, and they get to be hosted in the member countries pertaining to that particular regional integration. But as Lesotho, we have not played in that space of hosting those meetings. And those meetings, believe me or not, that's where you get like your biggest share of foreign earnings in like a week or two. So we need to play in that space and hold those meetings. So we are going to use the nation brand to try to identify the agencies that needs to act for us to play in that space. So nation brand in that sense means we are also going to be coordinating activities towards achieving our national statement. I think, okay, I will explain what I mean by the national statement. Okay, before I get here. I've just talked about what the experts say about nation branding and why the nation brand. If I could be asked from a personal point of view, from the driver of nation brand, I would call it a promise. I would call it a promise to say, we make a promise to Basotho, in Lesotho, outside Lesotho, to people living in Lesotho, to the diaspora, to our international markets, and to friends of Lesotho, or people who have interest in Lesotho. I would say the definition is we make a promise, and now nation brand needs to break down that promise and to say, to keep this promise, what exactly do we need to do? And then we identify every stakeholder that would make the promise possible. I'll make an example. Let's take a statement like Lesotho 2020 vision. I think it says, okay, this is not like word for word. Lesotho shall be, in 2020, Lesotho shall be a healthy country with a healthy economy, well-resourced, well-developed human resource, at peace with itself and the neighbors, and environmental friendly. If we take that statement, it's a strong national statement, but from nation brand perspective of view, I would take that as the promise. Now we would try to identify within that promise, what are the critical elements of the promise? Well-developed human resource, environmentally friendly, healthy economy. And then we will package those deduced critical important elements within the promise. And then to say, okay, how do we achieve this? Who is needed? And then we coordinate those activities to make sure we deliver the promise. Now, here is the catch. That promise, we define it in pictorial version, that is in creating the logo. What is the essence of the logo? We want everybody intended to be part of the Lesotho promise. When they see the logo, they should remember the promise. And each one of us should remember the role that has to be played in order to deliver the promise that is being designated by that logo. That's how I would define nation brand. Now, coming to the general agreement on the pillars of nation brand internationally. It has been agreed that it should rest on 6 pillars: on governance, on culture, on the people, like citizens of the country, its tourism, and its investment and immigration. Most importantly, its export. The reason we are here today. Today, our audience mainly is the exporters. That is the people who produce goods and services in Lesotho that are meant for our consumption and for export consumption. Now, what we are here today to say is, Lesotho Nation Brands is here to assist Lesotho goods and products to be able to compete in the global market. And we are going to reach that through good quality goods and services. That is, our goods and services should have been guided by the world's best practices in producing such commodities. And that is to say, they need to be guided by relevant institutions internally, which are in collaboration with the world authorities performing the same mandate. And that would be the Ministry of Trade through the Lesotho Standards Institute. If we get guided by that agency, we stand a chance of coming up with the goods and services that we will proudly append our signature nation brand logo on, to say to the world, we agree, in fact, we endorse this product. And as a nation, we take responsibility that should this product cause anything, we are liable, we are behind this pursuit. That is what we are striving at as Lesotho Nation Brand to our export market or about our export goods and services. We want to tell a positive story about your products. We want to tell the world that we are behind you. We want to tell the world that we are producing products that adhere to standard that has been prescribed by the destination markets. That is why we are here today about Nation Brand and the export products. Now I'm going to give you an example of what we want to say about your products. Say our water. We export water to South Africa. I think it is a known fact that Gauteng and its industry, they survive on our water. It's a story that you could tell to any nation in the world. It's a story that you could tell to anybody who you want to lobby into buying our water. That's a positive story. That is the kind of stories that we want to communicate through Nation Brand about your products. Diamonds, our diamonds. We have the highest dollar per carat diamond in the world. That is to say, our diamonds are the most valuable in the world. That is a nice story to tell. Our auctions that are usually held in Antwerp and the Belgium, they get auctioned there. I don't know why, we need to change that. They attract the EU, mostly the EU and the US markets. That is what we want to tell about the products. In fact, about every product that gets produced in Lesotho. We have made strides, very positive strides. We also export trout. We know our first market was Japan and SA through Woolworths. And recently, the US has come into play. We also export the trout to the US. Now, look at the positivity of this. CNN, when we forged our first relationship with Japan, we had this headline on the news on CNN. And this headline will stay there forever because you can always retrieve it from YouTube or anywhere. Fish links Lesotho to Japanese chefs. I think that was just a stylish way to say we're exporting fish to. And I want to tell you today that if there is a sensitive market in the world, it's the Japanese market. So should you have any of your products endorsed by that market, just know that you've did something very right. So we need to continue producing the fish and apply the methods that are already applied to that. The US, the picture you see on the screen is the Lesotho trout packaged for the US market. They came up with a tagline there, where the mountains meet the sky. It's a nice tagline. It's nicely packaged, but this is not about them bringing the nice tagline. The real story in here is getting our trout to be endorsed in that market. It's a positive story. Now, it also reminds me of something. I think this also falls within the goods that fall under AGOA agreement, which expand our product base to accommodate all those endorsed goods. So I think fish is one of them. So it means over textiles, we've added one more. We need to add 50 more. Apparel, the first program director talked a lot about the apparel and the textile. Madam Tom also alluded to it. It is true, we are the second largest exporter to the US market under AGOA. And, remember, always I'm going to speak from a positive side of things when I talk about Lesotho. There's rhetoric that our textile market to the US is big because of cheap labor. Oh, how I don't like that. And then we sit down to say, what positive can we say about our labor? We say we are ethical, we are an ethical sourcing destination with a very high manual dexterity and a good working ethics from our laborers. That is how we need to change the rhetoric for a positive picture. Now, this is an interesting one, the rosehip. I think Madam talked about it. That for the first time, we have the medicinal plants in Lesotho being naturally grown, being harvested by the communities, and get processed in Lesotho. And guess what? After processing, we get to this final product, the elite equine. This is for working on the muscle for the horses. It has been sold on Amazon. This is yes, I think confident to say it is the first product, the sort of product to be sold on Amazon. And I thought we need to bring this to get the audience to be inspired and to believe that their products can reach this level. I was very glad today to learn that we have Lesotho. No, the leather company producing bags and stuff. That we are on the final stages of getting it into Amazon. I think that's a very great story to hear. That actually made my day for them. Food for thought. How do we go forward on our products? I think the list is endless on the products of what we can say about each product. But what if we improved the story about our diamonds and not exporting the raw stones? Like we should start the polishing and cutting. That will be even a bigger story to tell. What if wool and mohair, we added value to it by not exporting it as raw as it is? We need to process it. We need to, what's the term in that field? You brush, whatever we do, but until we have a product that is ready to be used to produce our jerseys, our jackets, we would have added a lot of value. Manufactures blankets in the country because we know that we are the biggest market for blankets, but they are being produced in South Africa. And I think we need to get our heads rolling on things like this. What if instead of burying those animal skins after the funeral, we get them to our tanneries? We do have a tannery in Lesotho, like in Masenoken, and get value out of those skins. And now that becomes an input for that guy who uses leather for his products. Now that's what we call putting real value into our goods for our consumption and the export consumption. That's just food for thought. But those are the things that we need to get our minds rolling on them, because we're looking for quality products, integrity of our products across borders, business and social compliance, and general wealth creation. This is the dawn of the Lesotho Nation brand. Please, let's embrace it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have said a whole lot. I actually thought my task at Lesotho Post Bank was big, but yours is quite challenging. But then again, I understood that nation brand can be understood in a second. The national identity, image, perceptions of Lesotho in the global space, it's important for investor confidence. Positive quadrant should probably be more expanded to aid or facilitate promotion for national brand. So you also touched on us or yes, exporters must be able to make and keep promises. Reference to your Vision 2020. Pillars of national brand were also noted. What stood out for me though, it's this that the Lesotho goods and services should be globally competitive through relevant standards prescribed by international markets. And I think our dear exporters this morning can adhere and understand that one better. Now, the important aspect in all this is quality, quality, quality. Bommel Bondata, I think you've heard for yourselves the amount of opportunities that we have. And remember, whatever it is that you want to do, you have your partner, and that is Lesotho Post Bank, right? The only Basotho bank. We are interested in making you the best that you can be. So none of us is going to fall short here of taking opportunities and thinking, I do not have money. You can't be funded. Money is galore. Just go in there, comply, and we will give you the money. So we're very excited to see that no longer are we going to stand back and say, I can't export, I don't know how to do it, because you really have a support or you have a partner called LNDC. Just go there, knock, and the future is in your hands, right? Anyway, going on, we have the second presenter, and that is Ndate Mahaswana from Lesotho Post Bank, who is the Chief Operations Officer. He is a member of the Lesotho Post Bank Board of Directors. He is actually responsible for efficient operations of the only Basotho bank. Amen. Ke Mofokeng wa Mahwana. Kgaitsedi ya tlalane ka sebele. Ntate Mahwana, would you kindly come to the podium and speak to us? Thank you.
My name is Mahasi Mahuana. As stated, I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Lesotho Post Bank. I'm here to talk about what Lesotho Post Bank can offer to our exporters in terms of services that we have in our bouquet. I would first start by extending the same salutations which were extended by previous speakers. We all know them. They are too long for me to state. I'm going to talk about what we do as Lesotho Post Bank in terms of financial inclusion, in terms of access to finance, in terms of financial literacy, collaborations that we have. I think as the program directors and previous speakers have stated, we have collaborators in LNDC, USAID, Trade Hub, and others that we have for partnerships, other partnerships that we have in terms of making sure that exporters are well taken care of, and we try to build their businesses, and we try to make it easy for them to do business. Okay, let's talk about financial inclusion. Financial inclusion from Lesotho Post Bank is very important because, as you might be aware, being the only Lesotho bank, we cannot afford to be selective in terms of how we provide services, and even for that matter, our focus tends to be on the on Basotho who you would say are the lower income Basotho, so that we make sure that we extend formal financial services to them. And we do it through our products called Khetsi and Data Ise. Khetsi is actually a mobile. It's a mobile wallet, similar to other mobile wallets, as you know them. So in Khetsi, we have services which are quite important for financial inclusion. We offer nano loans. Those are very small loans. Our customers to be able to come together as communities so that then they can have community loans, community savings. Even in our Khetsi platform, we can be able to also save. There are micro savings in the Khetsi platform where you can save and manage your finances. Data is also a transactional account. It's specifically targeted or specifically tailored to small businesses, to the lower income segment, in the sense that we provide some services for free. For instance, we don't have management fees and others as well. There are services which are free in that transactional account. So those are the services we offer, and as indicated, we try to make them so that even it's not a deterrent for the common Mosotho to actually come and get the services. Moving on to access to finance, our partnership with LNDC and the government of Lesotho enables those partnerships. They enable us to allow, or rather to extend credit to customers whom normally it would have been impossible for them to get credit. And we are really thankful to LNDC and the Lesotho government in that regard, in the sense that it makes it possible for many exporters, makes it possible for people who have dreams in terms of coming up with businesses, small businesses, to get credit from Post Bank with the guarantee offered by these partners. Moving on to financial literacy and marketing, it's quite important also to mention the fact that we, as the only Basotho bank, it is our responsibility to make sure that people are aware in terms of financial management, how to manage their personal finances, how to manage their finances as small businesses. And so therefore we extend our expertise in terms of financial literacy. We put together campaigns for us to provide this information and service. And also now and then we provide platforms for people to showcase their products, exporters to showcase their products through business forums where they can show what products they have and so therefore being able to reach further customers to expand their market. Public rallies are also what we do so that we extend this education to the public at large and to make sure that everybody is aware or everybody has information on how they manage their finances, so that then we can all get to a point where we have our financial freedom and we have growth in terms of our wealth. Collaborations, as indicated, we have collaborated with LNDC through their partial credit guarantee scheme, where our customers can go so that they can have somebody who can guarantee collateral so that we can provide credit to them. USAID Trade Hub, it's our intention to strengthen relations in this regard so that we are able to assist in making sure that we grab opportunities as stated by the last. I think he was able to indicate very well what opportunities are out there and what is it that we can do as Lesotho to try to improve our brand as a nation. The Ministry of Small Businesses as well is very important as a partner, as it also provides partial guarantee, credit guarantee schemes to small businesses, to exporters and so on. Exporters as our customers, as I've indicated, we offer business. I mean, we offer services as through the products which I've indicated, and as Mebokang has indicated, doors are open for further collaboration to make sure that we can provide you or we can make your dreams come true. And exporters, employees as well, they are customers, and they have accounts with us. They can also subscribe to our Hetsi product and be able to be included to get services, financial services. The future direction that the bank is taking towards making sure that we keep providing support to our exporters are that we are intending to become a development bank as per our strategy. That says that we shall then be able to provide these services in a larger scale and make sure that we improve on social development of the country, that we try to uplift the country in terms of its development, so that we can all prosper. We are going to improve our services in making sure that transactions, international transactions, can occur conveniently through our platforms, to make sure that Forex transactions can happen as our exporters export and the US and other markets as well. As Ntati has said, even Japan is there now. And so we are going to make it easier for our customers. And finally, to mention AGOA as well in terms of making sure that we are always there relevant to all those exporters that are in AGOA. With that, I like to thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Ndata Mahuana. Partnerships and collaborations to take Basotho entrepreneurs to the next level. Financial inclusion, he said. Khetsi Moba. If you go on your phone, star 120 star 222 hash, or you download, you will definitely find Khetsi. We have Ndata Isa, who does banking for free, really. It's the only Basotho bank. This is why we said we are affordable, accessible, anytime. That says access to finance. We have, once again, our dear partner, LNDC, through their PCG initiatives. And on that, we have clients at Lesotho Post Bank who have taken advantage of the initiative under AGOA, and their businesses are nothing but prosperous. The financial inclusion factor. You remember when we were at school, we would have small, smaller, smallest, right? How? Okay, I know. So Lesotho Post Bank says big, bigger, biggest, because they say, we want to see your businesses grow. So wherever you start, we are going to provide the financial education to help you understand all the matters that concern business growth so that you run a sustainable organizations. So we are not doing small, smaller, smallest, but we say to you, it's fine as an informal business around the street, right? But eventually you grow and you're going to have an industry. This is what Ndate Mahuana was saying to us. And then he says the corporate social responsibility issues where we say we are a responsible citizen and therefore we are tasked with understanding and helping our Basotho people who are also our customers to become better. And that is executed through the different capitals that Lesotho Post Bank adheres to or prescribe in their strategy. So that Bomelbondade takes me to this point that I read about exporters. Apparently this gentleman was an exporter and he would move from one country to another. My understanding, it's something like, crossing Maseru Bridge into South Africa. And every morning he would be riding his donkey with a whole lot of straws. So like they would do at the border, you would have your tax collectors or tax officials wanting to check you out and calculating how much tax is due. They would do that. And every time they did it, they did not have to pay anything. So they were annoyed and they didn't understand. They started cutting, thinking, this guy here, what is it about the straws? And years later, when one of the tax collectors had now retired and the exporter also retired, he went to him in a restaurant and he says, "Kahle kahle mfana, what is it that you were doing? because you never paid any tax, but you were rich. And this gentleman said, I was smuggling donkeys. So they never picked that up. Well, at this particular moment, I am going to ask our poet to Agarafele Hlaso. He is here, and please be entertained. That day, it is your time.
Theatsebe o mamele ho ithoka motho wa ka tlokweng kwana motseng Thabana Mogele pakeng tsa Morero le Mahlaba Kolobe batho ba teng ha ba tsebe sekgowa ha ba se bua ba sepeleta ba mpotsa lebitso ke mang Maseru toropong kwana ba mpitsa ga dintja kapa Teboho nkgono setswala mme nke tshane ha le dingwana kwana maotong a teu ya go ga tshajana tlhakodi o ne a mpitsa go nkgono setswala ntate Natala Makodiopong o be ambizi sithembiso kuyoba mnandi mase siphelele zonke ezulwini mase siphethiziwe isithembiso zethu impa kwana tlokweng motseng Thabana Mogele ho thwe ke Morena Leseba nna ke ipitsa monga koko la kgomo ya pogo ke ntse ke le mosuwe ke sa binela bashanyana le banana be ke ba binetseng ba pasitse kaofela kapa jwang Morena Mashinini Basotho ba heso mokgosi wa motsheare phallang wa bosiu wa ntsha batho matlong ho na le pitso ya kgola koko Maseru toropong kwana ho bitswa banna ho bitswa basadi ba bahwebi ba Basotho Basotho ke batho ba bohlale ke batho ba nang le mamello ba nang le boikitlaetso dinthong tsa kgwebo ebile rona re tshwana le mafokolodi re ka kula ga ba ga folla tseleng hobane bontata rona e ne le dinaka ngwedi ba kgantsha ka diphatla mpeng ho lefatshe he batho ba bohlale hakalo lefatsheng empa kgwebo ke ntho e thata hobane thekiso ho nkgisetsana mahafi le dikgwebo tse kgolo jwale Basotho ka boikitlaetso ba bona ba ntse ba wela fatshe ka mangole ba sitwa ho phama basadi ba motseng ntlokweng ba nketsa sehloho ke sa le lesea ba nnehella ka nkgono setswala ntate a ntoya a nthuta sekgowa predators of the same plumage parabolate in the same vicinity birds of the same feather flock together. Better I inscribe this epistle in English lest someone misses the message. Most of us were pretty young when we left. We might have forgotten our mother tongue. I am the messenger. I have got the message carved in Arabic in my medulla oblongata. But I is not me, but he that sent me. For every country to thrive economically, we need a sustainable export rate that can be able to raise and make the country thrive economically. I'm just a messenger. I have got the message carved in staccato rhythms between my vocal cords. But I is not me, but he that sent me. Basotho munyaulo kyo wa ho hwebisana le America mose mawatleng kwana. Farelane le seiboko ki le lo fihla marakeng ya mafatshe. America rang mona ibile re bona sealemoya ponong empa ka jeno malotshwane a rona diwediwetla le mentsokwane di tla tloa Lesotho mona di lo rekisa mose mawatleng kwana ke kopa le ba opele matsoho banna LNDC ha e sokwana re ka e tshwantsha le pholo e bitswang torobese Turubese re pana ka forong ha ka mothong re pana tsa mathapisane ha re batle ho lema dibanka. We thank you for this outrageous initiative of bringing this opportunity to the homeland for Basotho to develop and go into the international market. Can you give them a round of applause? I am the messenger. I have got the message written on my palate, but I is not me, but he that sent me. Yes, this is the opportunity for everyone to run at Basotho. Hopola ntle bana beso, hore ntja ha e tshela molatswana ke boraki. Maraka ona o moholo haholo, o hloka banna le basadi ba ikopantseng. Thanks to Post Bank for giving a helping hand to raise our businesses into the international standard. I am the messenger. I have got the message coming down from the bottom of my heart to express love and gratitude between Post Bank and LNDC for this great initiative that they have made. Morena Khwele, tshosa kgomo tsena di se ke tsa ja mabele, di se ke tsa fula maboeleng, di bo fule di bo tshoa, bo se ke ba di tshwarisa serotswana. Melao le melawana ya letsholo lena re ikobele yona re le Basotho e le hore le rona re tle re fihle ka hara matjhaba re tsebahale. Ao banna LNDC ha e sise lekgolo e tswa le manamane a matshehadi fela banna tlokweng kwana a makgwadiana re etsa moriana ka ona.
It's not me. Ntate Re a leboha. That is outstanding. It's a skill. So we have come to an end of my session. And I'm going to welcome Medisetso Moremoholo from LNDC. This lady is something of fail. I can't even say much. She's been to China, America, South Africa, and everywhere else. The highlight though is that ke wa rona, ke Mosotho wa rona. Ladies and gentlemen, would you kindly put your hands together and welcome her to the podium as she's going to take us on the next session. Medisetso. Thank you.
Meboki, thank you so much for that introduction. I only hope I can live up to it. But I am tempted after that introduction, to just really go deep on who I am. Na ke ngwanana wa Mofokeng, ke mokgwele wa Kata wa Sefiri, bakgwele ba Titima ba Bitseng le Bosiu. Now I just want to make sure that we're all ready for the highlight of this morning, right? The award ceremony. And I'm going to, I've hashtagged a couple of phrases as they're listening to my fellow hosts and the presenters. So I'm going to call out a hashtag and I want you to tell me which organization it's from, okay? As in the speaker, where they're from. So hashtag Manigalo. Hashtag choose denim. Hashtag collaboration. Hashtag collaboration. Yes, correct. And last but not least, and this is coming from LNDC, hashtag Lesotho rising to prosperity. Before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge the previous program directors, Me Marina, Me Boki. We left this venue very late last night, and they've done a wonderful job because I have seen that you're still with us, and that can only mean that mission accomplished on their part. So let's please give them a very warm round of applause. You know, women have a very bad rep. PhD, pull her down, and I always say, Hassan need. I think friends have such an ability to boost each other and raise an entire nation. You know, if you direct resources towards women, and I know this is a discussion that was had Last week, I had the benefit of attending meetings that were hosted by the African Export and Import Bank in Cairo. And there were serious and deep conversations around women empowerment and how banks such as yourself, Post Bank, really need to zoom in on providing financing and funding opportunities for women. Because bommele bontate, how ilo wa fa motho wa mme tjhelete kapa mokgwa wa ho intlafatsa, you know that there's a whole family, there's a household that is going to be boosted. Now, moving along, this is the third and final leg of today's occasion. And like I mentioned earlier, the pinnacle of the event. 6 categories will be recognized this morning. The first one is Best Emerging Exporter. Next, Best Exporter for Market and Product Diversification. Thirdly, Best Exporter in Market Sustainability. Fourth, Most Innovative and Versatile Exporter. Fifth, High Impact Exporter. And last but absolutely not least, the Exporter of the Year 2022. Marina in her remarks, but let me just once again acknowledge the outgoing overall winner for the 2021 Exporter Awards, Liberation Clothing. One last round of applause. Now, to ensure that we have a smooth award ceremony, let me just explain how this will take place. So I am going to invite onto the stage Madame Chargée d'Affaires from the US Embassy and Dr. Sefadi. They will be issuing the awards. Each recipient will please be requested to remain on stage after receiving your certificate and trophy for a photo op. Once we have issued all awards, I will request all of the recipients to come back onto the stage for a group photo. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Madame, may I please invite you onto the stage, Linda Desfadi, and Marina to assist us with the awards. Limeboki. So as I invite the recipients onto the stage, as you can see, we have a red carpet. You're deserving of your red carpet moment. So please come up onto the stage on the red carpet. And then, yes, and then please move to Dr. Safadi. And lastly, to Madame Toombs, and you'll stand here. We have our cameraman ready. We've had our conversation regarding how this will be done. And make sure you enjoy your 5 minutes of fame. You deserve it, your Kodak moment. Now, before I proceed, very briefly, I'm going to request my colleague, Memadira Konyela. She is the Investment Promotion Manager at LNDC, to come up to the stage to explain or to break down how LNDC has committed a 45,000 cash prize that will be distributed amongst the winners. Memadira, very quickly, may you come up to the stage to give us that highlight. As she comes onto the stage, please give her a round of applause. So this is an initiative. This is an initiative that is being run under the investment and the investment promotion department at LNDC. Memadira.
Okay, thank you very much, Matisse. So let me start by reintroducing myself. I'm a trade facilitation and promotions manager. So basically the initiative, we are running the initiative together with a Post Bank and USA Trade and Investment Hub. The LNDC has 45,000 that will be allocated to the winners today. So how are we going to structure this for the 40,000? How are we going to allocate it? The winner is going to get 10,000, and all the 5 categories will each get 7,000. So if the winner wins the overall prize and the other categories, that means he will keep and getting the cash prize together with the trophies and the certificates. Thank you very much.
Now, Now, I said this a couple of weeks ago when LNDC hosted this year's edition of the Partial Credit Guarantee Scheme Awards. We all remember the Oscars and the Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. Let's hold our fingers crossed that that's not going to happen today. All right, now let's keep this moving. So, like I mentioned earlier, the first category that we'll be awarding is Best Emerging Exporter. And let me just explain that for each category, we'll be announcing 2 winners. So we'll have a runner-up and the winner in that order. So firstly, we have under the category for Best Emerging Exporter, our runner-up is, drum roll, Liberation Clothing. Give them a round of applause. And now the winner for the category Best Emerging Exporter, Jalad Africa. Give them a round of applause. All right, now let's move on to our second category, and that is Best Exporter for Market and Product Diversification. And our runner-up is none other than Jalad Africa. Give them a round of applause. And the winner for Best Exporter for Market and Product Diversification is none other than, I love my job, Centimeter. It appears that they are not present, but on their behalf, the prize will be received by our trade promotion manager. Now we're just about halfway on our third category, and that is Best Exporter in Market Sustainability. And our runner-up is, I'm milking it. JMM Beekeeping. wanted to say that was a sweet win. And the winner in this category is, once again, Jalad Africa. All right. Now we're at category number 4, and that is most innovative and versatile exporter. And our runner-up is Iconic. And the winner of this category, most innovative and versatile exporter, we have Leaf Glow. Winning has, winning has never looked so good. All right, and our last category before the overall winner is high impact exporter. And here we had a tie for the runner-up. So we have 2 winners, and they are Jalad Africa and Centimeter. Oh my God, oh my God. In our final category before we announce the Exporter of the Year Award 2022, for high impact exporter is, once again, Liberation Clothing. He said the first time is always sweeter. All right, now before we move on to the overall winner, I think these people are, they deserve a very warm round of applause to all the 5 categories. Now when we get to a point where we see these names at the Brand Africa Awards ceremony. So the Brand Africa is an initiative that was established to build recognition of brands in Africa. And when we start seeing these brands that are making waves in the export space and that are now receiving recognition both locally and in the region and finally internationally, we will know that all of the efforts that are being made are being cemented and that we are really moving forward. And that is really, at the end of the day, that is going to fulfill the Nation Brand Initiative. All right, now we've gotten to that point. We've arrived. It's that big moment where we recognize the Exporter of the Year winner 2022. Do we have any guesses? I'm having my Jam Alley moment. Obvious. So, the Exporter of the Year winner 2022 is Jalan Africa. Oh my gosh, I have an awesome team. Can you give them a round of applause? All right, like I mentioned earlier, at this juncture, I'd like to invite onto the stage all of the recipients for a group photograph. All of the recipients, may you please come onto the stage for a group photo. Mama Mwila, may I also please invite you onto the stage to represent LNDC. Ntate Mahuana, may you also please join us on stage. So we have reached the end of our program. And to deliver closing remarks, I'm going to invite Dr. Safadi onto the stage. And when he's finished, lunch will be served. We will not move to the dining room, but lunch will be served just outside of this venue. Let me, on behalf of all of the program directors, give you a very warm thank you for your attention, undivided attention during this ceremony. You were really a wonderful audience. And what we hope is that you leave this event having learned about nation branding, about money, what did Postbank say? Money galore. There are funds that are available. We don't have an excuse as a nation. I know LNDC also offers technical support in terms of development of business proposals and the like. If we ha ka tshwaranang ka matsoho, re ka iketsetsa kapa ra ikhaela Lesotho leo re le batlang. At this juncture, allow me to invite onto the stage Dr. Francis Sipadi to deliver closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Program Director. Allow me to pay my respects to His Majesty King Letsie III, the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, Honorable President of the Senate, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, His Lordship the Chief Justice, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, Chargé d'Affaires at the Embassy, the US Embassy, May Keisha Thoms Butelep, Managing Director of the LNDC, Senior LNDC Management, private sector representatives, particularly those being honored or who have been honored at this event, media fraternity, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think this day is appropriate. I don't know how the organizers chose Wednesday morning for this prestigious event. That's my only concern. Those who know me, they know when I see a piano, for me it's Friday. But now it's Wednesday and we are having this beautiful moment. But I have to say that the event has been, glamorous. All the good words you can assign to it. Allow me to officially close this important award ceremony, where we acknowledge and recognize the meritorious performance of MSMEs in export. May I express my gratitude to the government of the United States through the representation of Mayor Thoms Butelep, the Chargé d'Affaires at the embassy, as well as the Lesotho Post Bank through its managing director, Nadel Kawe, represented by Mufkengwa Isunda Mahoana here, for your collaborative effort behind this event, not only by creating a very meaningful tradition, but in assisting Lesotho in promoting her economic interests. We are grateful for the outstanding work delivered by the panel of adjudicators in identifying the winners. It is also heartwarming to see that the USAID, Southern Africa Trade and Investment Hub, and the LNDC advancing this initiative and taking it further to inspire MSMEs to grow their businesses. The sustainability of this competition is therefore extremely vital. I'm very excited, Madam Program Director, to be part of this ceremony that continues to contribute towards the achievement of NSDP2 objective of pursuing an export-led economy, product diversification, and indeed due to my passion in trade. A number of initiatives such as the 2019-2025 National AGOA Response Strategy and the 2021-2025 National Export Strategy that have been adopted by the government to increase exports and instigate product diversification tie well with the objectives of this initiative. As a small country, we need to aim higher and go beyond our borders to international markets like the exporting companies here today have done. Our prosperity as a country unquestionably depends on that. While the exports of Lesotho to the US may have marginally decreased in 2020, exports to South Africa increased. This is a demonstration that the exporters' contribution registered a noticeable success even in the face of adversity. This exhibits your versatility and competence to respond to various challenges. I congratulate you and the wider exporting community in Lesotho for this remarkable feat. Program Director, the awards today therefore bear testimony that participation in the export market is not unsurmountable. It is my hope that this event will continue to attract more companies to participate in the South African and US markets. And if it expand to reach out to other international markets. We have to be aware, however, of the possibility to continue to experience a host of uncertainties such as COVID-19 that we may not even be able to predict how they will affect us in the future. We need to stay vigilant and invest in sectors that will make us more competitive in these markets, even without the market access preferences that we are fortunately beneficiaries to, notwithstanding their importance. We are certainly not here only to award winners, but also to laud all participating companies for their excellence in reaching export markets, as well as their dedication in preparing to partake in this competition. One important issue to pursue, Program Director, is the necessity to provide aftercare services to companies that have not been successful today to enhance their competitive edge in the subsequent competition. I believe they will be inspired to participate in the support program that will be developed. Allow me, in closing this important occasion, to thank and congratulate our awardees and the organizers and everyone who is here. May these awards inspire to pursue greater success. I wish to thank you all for your attention. And before I part here, organizers, in the future, let's consider Friday. I think we need it. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is this is unconventional and actually totally unacceptable as far as protocol dictates. But I've sought permission to break protocol. And I would like to take this opportunity to invite Jalad onto the stage while we wait for lunch to deliver us a brief acceptance speech. So Jalad, is he in the room? Oh, there you are, yes. Nade, please come up to the stage. Please give him a round of applause. For the benefit of Lesotho Television, because I know they've just rejoined us, they were here earlier, let me just inform them that this is the Exporter Awards 2022 winner. We will be happy to provide further details for your benefit. Thank you very much.
Wow, ke lebohile haholo ka nnete for monyetla onana o go fuweng re le Jalad. I think first and foremost, I would like to thank God. You know, Jalad Africa was not just a good idea, but it was a God idea. And through the lockdowns and the COVID-19, le tsohle tse fetileng le yona, for us to be standing here and still in business, it's only God. Amen. Happy ke batla ho leboha LNDC for organizing an event of this nature. This year has been, this is like a happy ending of a rough season. And indeed, we are grateful. Just to, and also to the US Trade Hub, they have been very supportive to us. And just to give an update, today and tomorrow, we are actually doing a photo shoot of the products that we are shipping for Amazon on Friday. So we are on track, and we hope this will open a door and opportunity for more Basotho producers to access those markets. And I want to make a public invitation that if we succeed in this Amazon, anyone is welcome to knock at our doors, and we'll guide them on how to do it the way we did it. Amen. And I can tell like Upalobanda this Fadi, he has been very helpful to our company. I mentioned something like a rough season just a moment ago, and he knows what I'm referring to. And what I'm leadership and the Ministry of Trade at large.
And just allow me to highlight that Jalad has received extensive, and I think I am not wrong in saying this, extensive financial support from Lesotho Post Bank. All right, so until we're invited for lunch, I'd like to invite our band, You Guys Rock, to please play some music for us. Thank you very much. Your attention, please. I actually omitted to state this because I had noted it on my script that we were joined by, I think Mema Marina mentioned it earlier in the beginning, but remember that we had a virtual audience. And in signing off, it is only appropriate that we also extend a hearty thank you to them. They were also part of the preparations. I mentioned earlier that there was a team of us who were here last night, making sure that everything runs smoothly. And we were joined by a team in South Africa, the power of technology. And they're with us right now. So I'm not sure where the camera is. Where are they? I know Sally's with us. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Is that the camera? So Mesali, Mema Musa, and the rest of your team, and all other participants who have joined us, through, who have joined us virtually. Thank you very much for remaining with us throughout the event.
Thank you. Thank you. Well done.
It's been a wonderful event. We're looking forward to doing this again next year. And we said this last year, I remember. Last year we said next year is going to be bigger and better. And I can safely say that we accomplished that. And I'll say it again this year. Next year, we're going to come bigger, better, stronger. Thank you.